sports world isn't just changing, it's expanding, and fast.
There's not even another sport that has double-digit growth. It's huge.
More teams and new leagues.
Oh my goodness!
Mean more money on the line.
They have to be in it for the long game.
But with big bets come big risks.
I thought it was the dumbest thing in the world.
We're breaking down rising sports leagues, why they work, the risks involved, and whether they're sustainable.
What would happen if I did this, turned it into a real sport, and did it the right way? 10 billion views.
On Sports Business Journal, Inside the Industry, presented by DXC Technology. I'm your host, Tarek El-Bashir, and joining me here in studio are Sports Business Journal's managing editor, Austin Karp, Kim Stone, the CEO of the Washington Spirit, the women's soccer team here in Washington, D.C., and my old pal, SBJ Publisher Abe Madkour. Welcome to the show, everyone.
Great to be with you.
So the rapid growth we're seeing in sports isn't just coming from the three-letter leagues that we're all familiar with, the NFL, the NBA, MLB, NHL, MLS. Am I forgetting anyone? It's coming from the ones on the rise.
So one space that I'm personally really fascinated is emerging leagues, emerging properties.
It's not just going to be the Big Five forever.
There it is.
Congratulations.
We'll have the biggest sports program that's ever existed for the Olympics and Paralympics. We added baseball and softball, lacrosse, flag football, squash, and cricket.
Yeah. Now they telling me congratulations.
You could have bought a women's soccer team for $1 million 5 years ago. Today it's $100 million. In 5 years, I think it'll be $500 million to $1 billion.
I get more questions about people wanting to invest in pickleball and where pickleball is a sports business.
Bought a pickleball team for about 50,000, sold it for about 5 million.
You know, there's a lot of fandom around pickleball. I'm one of them. But how do you take this pickleball league and turn it into a viable commercial project?
How do you break through the clutter? How are you going to get someone's attention just for 30 seconds?
Well, let's talk about return on investment. Did I just hear a pickleball team was bought for $50,000 and then sold for $5 million? Abe, I know you're a big fan of pickleball. Let's talk about that.
Well, there's a lot out there. First, sports is exciting right now. Everybody wants to be in sports.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money on the sidelines from investors who want to be in the sports business. So they look at sports that are underserved and audiences that are underserved. Pickleball's one. Great participation numbers, but is there a business there? That's what the industry's trying to find out.
Okay.
In terms of growth of sports in the United States, it's pickleball in high double-digit growth, and there's not even another sport that has double-digit growth. It's huge. On the professional side, yeah, it's kind of tough on TV. The most popular pickleball professionally aren't even some of these professional leagues, it's these one-offs, like the Pickleball Slam on ESPN, and those aren't leagues. That's just like Andre Agassi and Steffi Graf, so it's kind of a unique thing. Can a professional league, though, draw eyeballs? It has not done that yet.
I want to go back to something we saw in that video. A women's professional soccer team sold for $1 million and now could be worth $500 to $1 billion. Where do you come down on that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I've seen it just in the 1 year I've had the privilege of being in the NWSL. You're seeing just the exponential growth, the interest, and I had the privilege of running a WNBA team for the Miami Heat back in the early 2000s, and the ecosystem then is not as vibrant as it is now. So that to me is what is different.
And you know, Kim's seen it all, from Miami to Golden State, now she's here in DC. She knows how hard it is. You need great ownership, you need a lot of money, because you're going to lose a lot of money, and you got to be patient.
Abe, let's talk about cricket for a second
Yeah.
here. It's coming back to the Olympics for the first time in 128 years. How critical is that to building the brand and the sport and interest here in the U.S.?
Well, Tarek, I mean, it's the most popular sport in the world, and sport is local. So there are a lot of local markets out there that love sports, love cricket, and they're trying to bring cricket now more to the United States. They started small. They're going to play more cricket matches throughout America. I think with the changing demographics of the United States, cricket is a growth sport for sure.
Cricket as a sport, I think, is one of the very few, in my opinion, truly global sports.
We've seen IPL grow from 400 million viewer league to today being a 700 million viewer league.
I just thought there's no way 26,000 people are going to come and watch us at Lord's. We actually sold out Lord's for the first time, and ever since then, the game's just going from strength to strength.
think you saw some of the potential this summer with that T20 World Cup and what that was able to do?
Yeah.
And the U.S. knocking off Pakistan.
Yeah,
I think someone compared it to the Red Sox losing to the Durham Bulls. I thought that was a pretty good analogy. And then they started doing all these profiles on players. These aren't professionals. These are Google engineers and a lot of people that work in Silicon Valley. So to develop a professional league where you can recognize some of the athletes, that's the next step. And there also is a visibility issue. A lot of these Major League Cricket games are in something called Willow. And I challenge a lot of casual sports fans, where is Willow? Where do you find that? It's not, it's not something that traditional sports fans are going to find their content.
The nice thing about cricket is there is a huge population in the United States. They love cricket. So there is the affinity for it. They're going to go find it. They'll find Willow, is what I believe. Because just like in the NWSL, we were off mainstream platforms and our viewers found us.
So, Kim, if I gave you $10 million right now, what emerging sport are you putting your money on?
Oh, flag football.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good one.
100%.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Abe?
I would agree with Kim. Flag football with the Olympics in 28, very participatory, and could be a good viewership sport as well.
All right, Austin, you can't start a flag football league. What are you putting your $10 million on?
I kind of like what the Premier Lacrosse League is doing. It's an incredibly popular youth sport, has a very strong base, it's coming back to the Olympics, and I think with the willpower that the Rabel brothers have at the PLL, they're going to be successful.
How much does the success of these leagues hinge on investors?
I mean, they have to be patient with their investment because it's going to be a long putt.
Kim, you've got some firsthand experience in that area.
Absolutely. Abe said it very well. You have to have the investment mindset because you're not going to see immediate returns. And I think what people want, sometimes investors come in and they want an immediate, 12, 18-month return. You're going to have success, but you do have to have that patience, the grit, the determination, and the investment mindset to it.
And with all that capital comes a lot of risk. So what happens when the leagues you bet against end up slapping you in the face?
And I'll give you one more league that we did not invest in because I thought it was the dumbest thing in the world. And that league has caught this country by surprise.
I saw this stuff like in 2018. It was coming out of Poland and Russia.
All you have to do is stand there and somebody just slaps you. Get ready. That's the league. All right?
I said, what would happen if I did this, turned it into a real sport and did it the right way? The answer is 10 billion views. That's the answer.
Now, if you came to me and said, look, all you got to do is stand there and I'm going to slap you, I would have said to you, that's insane. Nobody's going to watch that. I was wrong.
When we re-up our rights next year, it's probably an $850 million business in 22 months. And we have over 20 million followers on PowerSlap. 9.6 billion views in less than 2 years. It's the most successful thing I've ever been a part of in such a short amount of time.
So some say power slap is less of a sport and more of a spectacle. Does that matter?
No, it doesn't matter. I remember being with Dana White in his office in Las Vegas a few years ago. He knew it would resonate globally. He knew it would attract an audience of young people. He knew it would be also social friendly, viral friendly.
And isn't it interesting that this happened through social?
Yes.
Right? I think that's
It's a social first.
Exactly. Yes. And that's, I think, a lot of Dana's brilliance, too.
Austin, can YouTube be enough to promote a digital first property like PowerSlap?
Well, more people watch TV, like YouTube as a TV, than any other network. So why not? Let's rely on YouTube. That's where the people are getting the majority of their video content anyway.
When we come back, we're getting an inside look at what it takes to build a National Women's Soccer League expansion team from scratch.
You have to hire your marketing team and your ticketing team and your sponsorship team.
Plus, another surging sport is making big waves.
You have a lot of money on the sidelines of people who would love to own a sports team.
All that and more is still to come. Presented by DXC Technology, the official global partner of Monumental Sports and Entertainment. Many of today's growing sports aren't actually new, they're just finally having their moment on the global stage. And sometimes a fresh approach to a long-established sport like sailing can be a knockout success.
4 years ago, Larry Ellison starts a sailing league. He goes out to raise $250 million. You know how much money he raises? 0. He doesn't care. He starts the league, 12 teams. CBS gives him a deal for $40 million based on 100,000 viewers worldwide. Do you know how many people watch Sailing Now, SailGP in the United States? They just had a race. It's 2 million viewers. More than watch basketball and hockey combined.
Abe, 2 million viewers, is that fair, or is that American and international viewers?
I thought Mark Lasry was being a little bit hyperbolic, so to speak, there, but his point's a good one. One, if you have Larry Ellison starting anything, one of the richest people in the world, you're going to have long-term patient capital. And that's what we have here. And you do have a lot of money on the sidelines of people who would love to own a sports team. This is a way in. This is global. So there's a real potential here. I don't know where the ceiling is, but it's certainly growing.
It is drawing a decent number. They have a pretty good slot there that they put on CBS, getting around 500,000 viewers on average per telecast. It'll be opposite like an NFL single header sometimes.
That's how I found it.
Yeah, so if you're at a bar, you may find that on a Sunday. So they have been really smart about the windows that they're putting on broadcast TV. But this has tinges to me of like an early Formula One.
Okay.
The brands that are coming, you're talking about the Rolexes and the Oracles and Mubadala Capital, very high and very expensive sport. So you need those high-end brands. You need those high net worth people coming in as owners.
So Kim, you have a lot of experience getting in on the ground floor and starting things from scratch. If you were to start a team from the ground floor, nothing, what's the first thing you do?
Oh, find a really good investor and owner to back it. Somebody, we said it earlier, they have to be in it for the long game. They have to have patience. They also have to have humility to hire people that know the sport better than they do to grow it, to get it started.
I agree totally with Kim. It's about ownership, ownership, ownership. And then you have to build it from the ground up.
And for NWSL expansion team Bay FC, they had to do it in half the time.
Kundananji has help, slips it through, Oshawa onside apparently, and she ties it.
So Bay FC is the new expansion team in the NWSL.
Founded by 4 former U.S. national team players, Brandi Chastain, Allie Wagner, Leslie Osborne, and Danielle Slayton.
Everything is from scratch. So our business side is brand new, but also all of our players and sporting side is also brand new.
Towards goal, and it's in!
So have to hire, your marketing team and your ticketing team and your sponsorship team. Also things like HR, do we have health insurance?
Most teams starting in the NWSL have a lead time of 18 to 24 months.
We did it all on a 10-month window.
On the outswinger, Dahlkemper, the target, Kundananji, yes!
Bay FC, before they'd even kicked a ball, they'd set an NWSL corporate sponsorship record, a world record transfer fee when they signed Rachel Kundananji from Real Madrid for £685,000.
It's Rachel Kundananji swerving, oh my goodness! She can't be stopped!
I'm making moves. They sold out their season tickets, their 10,000 season ticket allocation, and they also sold out their opening game at PayPal Park with 18,000 capacity before they'd kicked a ball.
It's going to be tough to hear this final whistle, how loud it is right now at PayPal Park.
Normally when you're doing something really fast, the goal is, okay, let's get it done, it's scrappy, that's okay, but that was not our mentality. We said we're gonna do it the fastest and the best. And I think we accomplished that.
So Kim, Bay FC is not alone in their success. I want to read some statistics about the Washington Spirit here that I found amazing. The Spirit saw a 71% year-over-year growth in full season ticket holders from 24 to 25. This season's home opener marked the 3rd consecutive sellout at Audi Field and the largest opener in history with 19,254 fans. 20 national TV broadcast games in 25, up from 16 in 24. What's the secret sauce you got going on there?
We have an amazing fan base, and we call it Rowdy Outy. And when you come, it's an experience.
I'm going to make her uncomfortable, but it's also about leadership and operational excellence. And you need good operators in the sports business who know how to run a team. She has a history. Miami, San Francisco, New York, running buildings, being part of a team environment. And sometimes that gets overlooked.
This isn't me, even though I appreciate what Abe said. This is about we. And it's about ownership, being committed. And when I go to Michelle Kang, I can't go to her and just say, I have this idea, would you invest in it? No, there's a full-length business plan that's based on a McKinsey format that I use, because if I can make the case and show her, she'll invest.
Austin, how does the NWSL avoid overexpanding and maybe diluting the talent pool?
Well, I think they've been smart on their expansion. They're not going incredibly fast. They have people that are interested, and they're going to really big markets. And they got this new media rights deal that started last season. They're in year 2 of that deal, and it gives them exposure across a number of networks, which you've seen a lot of league properties try to do, whether it's NASCAR or other sports, kind of like the NFL model, all over the place.
I do think that's a major threat, though. It's an issue that the leagues have to be careful on, not just in NWSL, but in other leagues. What did you talk about? Revenue. Leagues need revenue. What's the easiest way to get big revenue? Expansion fees. And so as the league looks, they're adding Boston, they're adding Denver, but your point's a very good one. How do you run the risk of trying to grab for too much revenue, but then hurting your product on the pitch? It's a tough balance.
Kim, how do we balance short-term success with long-term sustainability?
You have to know what your North Stars are, you have to stay committed to them, you have to double down on them, and you can't just chase the latest, greatest thing. And then, we're a player-centric league as well. Having those players continue to partner in a respectful way, I think those are the key things.
Something I like that Bay FC did, particularly Alan Waxman and 6th Street, not your typical sports owner and institutional investor side, but beyond having 4 well-known U.S. women's national team stars, he really leaned on the expertise of somebody like Rick Welts. Brought him onto the board, a basketball Hall of Famer as an executive, now running the Mavericks, somebody who knows the sports business landscape, and they really tapped into as many smart people as they could to get this launched.
Well said.
And I really love the name Bay FC, especially for an area that's spread out over a lot of miles.
Yes, I think that was really brilliant because you didn't choose San Francisco, you didn't choose San Jose because they play in San Jose, right? You chose Bay FC, so you are the region's team.
Very inclusive, yeah.
I got to say though, my favorite team name in the Bay Area, the Major League Cricket's Unicorns.
That's a good place to leave it. I love it. Well, okay, it's time for Abe's favorite part of the show, the Money Minute. As we saw with Bay FC, these new leagues and teams don't exist without the money behind them. And we're talking a lot of money. So my question is, which women's sports team is the most valuable in the world, and what is their estimated worth? Any guesses?
Go with maybe the Valkyries right now?
Okay.
Angel City FC.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of W teams. Why do you try to stump us all the time? I'm going to go with Kim, Angel City.
All right. Well, we've got the answer right after the break. Plus, a fresh round of leagues is giving athletes the ultimate power play.
They can impact and move the needle on the revenue, which then also flows to them.
Okay, the question was, what is the highest valued women's sports team in the world, and just how much are they worth? That would be Angel City Football Club, recently purchased by Disney CEO Bob Iger and his wife Willow Bay, valued at a staggering $250 million.
She nailed it. Thank God I'm sitting next to her.
Well, I will say, I have no doubt that Golden State Valkyries will be there. They're going to be, those two will fight for 1 and 2. Listen, in the Washington Spirit, don't sleep on us.
There you go.
10,000 season tickets for the Valkyries before they hit the court, very impressive.
Well, the valuation of these teams is certainly helping shape the future of women's sports, and it doesn't stop there. At Athletes Unlimited, John Patricoff is flipping the script on pro sports, putting the power in the hands of the athletes themselves.
Athletes Unlimited is a network of professional women's sports leagues. We operate a professional women's softball league, a professional women's volleyball league, and a professional women's basketball league that's a complement to the WNBA. I think almost every other pro sports league that's started over time typically starts with the owners and maybe you get to the GMs and the coaches, and then eventually you start talking to the players. At Athletes Unlimited, we turned the model on its head. Some of the first conversations we had with our athletes, ultimately, we just found how much insight and how much value they could bring to the table. And so we made athletes profit share participants in the league. We created something called the Player Executive Committee, where athletes are still today involved in day-to-day decision making. Really, that partnership with the athletes was the first major innovation and has persisted today. I think it's been our strongest asset. It's funny, when you get into women's sports, a lot of the discussion becomes about scarcity. Oh, can two leagues really survive? Or basketball and soccer, which is going to win out? If you apply that to men's sports, no one would ever have those conversations, right? No one would ever say, oh, there's too much men's sports on TV. If you're a fan of a sport, you want that sport available, accessible, 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, basically. And so we're a small part of helping that happen.
Abe, is he right? Is there room for all of it?
I think there's room for plenty of women's sports. Where I get concerned on men's and women's side is too many of the same sport. Too many women's volleyball leagues, or too many men's lacrosse leagues, or men's soccer leagues. I think that's where you could see consolidation, but you're seeing some really interesting components, both with Athletes Unlimited, Unrivaled, the Professional Women's Hockey League, even TGL on the golf side. These are startup leagues that are offering new components, equity, higher salaries. So there's a lot of interesting things that I think will find an audience.
Kim, in traditional leagues, the owners are the bosses. Now we're talking about players having some equity. How does that change the power dynamic?
A lot. And I actually think it's positive because they understand how they can impact and move the needle on the revenue, which then also flows to them. There's just an awareness and understanding, that is greater than when they don't have equity.
Could this model of player equity ever work in a traditional league like the NFL or the NBA?
It's been approached in terms of some players getting drafted in the NFL say they would love to go to this team if they're able to get a percentage of that team. Right now, those deals are off the table. They're not part of the collective bargaining agreement. Owners that I've spoken with and owners that I know, they're not eager to give up a share of their team to a player. I just don't think in the major leagues, Stark, that we're there yet at all.
Okay, y'all, before we close this out, you guys ready for some buy, sell, or hold?
Bring it.
All right, let's do it. We'll start each one with Abe. Pickleball will be in the 2032 Olympics. Buy, sell, or hold?
Sell. Too fragmented, not one major governing body advocating for it.
I'd buy.
Okay.
I'm a buy on that.
The NWSL will reach 20 teams in the next 5 years.
There'll be close to 16 teams in the next year. I'll do a buy on that one just to have fun. Yes.
I'll do a buy as well, but we do have to balance that, as we talked earlier. The product on the field or the pitch has to stay high.
I'm a sell for that reason because they want to get these new teams, they want to onboard them, they want to get this next media rights deal. Maybe if they can get the X multiple and that next media rights deal, then they can look at it down the road. So I'm a sell on 20 in that time frame.
You're probably right. But I'm still going to buy. I'm not going to change my mind.
Well, the landscape is ever evolving, that's for sure. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, I'm Tariq El-Bashir, and this is Sports Business Journal, Inside the Industry.